I'm Summer Mohammed, Senate, POC Senate seat of 4.
Daniel use here pronouns since we fought.
Father and she, her pronouns, and I'm COC Senate seat 6.
Hello, everyone. He, him pronouns, Jordan Ackerman, Senate seat 7, COC.
Hi, everyone. My name is Victoria Pinero. I use she, her pronouns, and Senate seat 9, Department Finance Committee.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christine Lino. I use your pronouns. I'm Senate Seat 10, a member of the Department's Finance Committee and Senate Treasurer. Hi, guys. My name is Bess Fisher. I use any pronouns. I'm Senate Seat 11 and an academic senator. Hi, Rachel. I use she pronouns. I'm Senate Seat 12, academic Senate. Happy New Year.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ruth Ramirez Panetta. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a committee member.
My name is Sue Nagar, Argent Senate Seat 14. In pronouns.
My name is Joanne Wu, Senate Seat 15, representing psychology students, and Happy New Year.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bella Esbeck, Senate seat 16, and academic chair, and I use she, her pronouns.
I am Fran Paxton, and she, her pronouns, academic seat 17.
Hello, you lovely fine folks of Senate, January 29th. My name is Liz Scro, she, her pronouns, academic seat 18, school of journalism and communication.
Hi everyone, I'm Jamie Dillon, Senate seat 19.
I'm Ray Rahman, any pronouns, Senate Seat 21, representing undecided nation.
Senator Ducharme.
Hi, I'm Andrew Ducharme, he, him pronouns. I represent, I see Talik making a face there. But I represent graduate students in the College of Arts and Sciences and College of Design.
Senator Cole.
Hi, everyone. My name is Emily Cole. I'm Senate seat 23. I represent law students, and I use she, they pronouns.
Vice President Bach.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kika Chiapaku. I am the ASUO Vice President, and I use she, her pronouns.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Really all of us.
I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I use she, her pronouns, and I represent first years in Senate Seat 24.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I use she, her pronouns. I'm one of the ASUO clerks.
Hi, my name is Terry Garrity. I'm Senate Deputy Speaker and POC Chair. I use she, her pronouns.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have anyone to plan on this day? I'm ready. University of Oregon is located on California, Hawaii, which original indigenous homeland in California. Following treaties between 1851 and 1855, California people were dispossessed of their indigenous homeland by the United States government and forcibly removed from Coast Reservation in Western Oregon. Many California descendants are primarily citizens of the Confederate tribe of Maryland and the Confederate tribes of the Indians, and they continue to make important contributions to the communities for Euro, the lands now known as Oregon, and to the world. In the following, the religious protocol of acknowledging the people of the land, we also extend our respect to the nine federally recognized indigenous nations of Oregon, the Burns Paiute tribe, the Confederate tribes of Goose, Baroloka, the Sinisla Indians, the Confederate tribes of Grand Ron, the Confederate tribes of Siletz Indians, the Confederate tribes of Umatilla Indian Reservation, the Confederate tribes of Warm Springs, the Coco Indian tribe, the Cowpea Band of Uncle, other Indians, and the Klamath tribes. We express our respect for the many more tribes who have ancestral connection to this territory, including the Chinook Indian Nation and the Fort McDermott, and Shoshone tribes, as well as to all other displaced indigenous people who call Oregon home.
I move to approve the agenda.
Second Fisher.
Motion made by Dylan, second Fisher, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Heather? Right, thank you, Senator. Do we have anyone today for next? You guys hear me?
Happy Wednesday. Long time no see. Yeah, we did a lot of really cool things this week and last week. Last week we had our kickoff event, which is the start of every term. We got 106 people there. It was really, really cool to get a jump start in our campaigns. Following kickoff last week, we had first-time volunteer events for all of our campaigns. So for Oceans One, we had over 20 people writing testimonies and making prompts for some visibility on campus to help protect our oceans. We had events for all the rest of our campaigns. We got professor sign-ons and textbooks for open educational resources. And yeah, half of the 106 people who came to kickoff have already volunteered for another event. So
Yeah. Sorry, I have a lot of stuff in my hands. Here, I'm also going to pass around some of our Right to Repair stickers that we just got in. I'm Sophia. I work for Osberg. I think a lot of you guys know me by now. But as a lot of you guys know, the Oregon legislative session started really recently. It's a long session because it's an odd number year, which means that we have just a lot more time and opportunity to drive a lot of priorities that are going to impact students, not only here on campus, but right, all of us for the rest of our lives. And so every couple of weeks, we're probably going to have more updates around more key committee hearings and bill hearings for priorities that Osberg students might either be running campaigns on directly here on campus, or are issues that we have advocates working on because we know that they're in the interests of the student body population and people all across the state. And so in front of you guys is our Right to Repair sticker because we have a full update on our Right to Repair campaign in Oregon. A lot of you guys know, right, that broadly electronic waste is just a really big problem, right? It's one of the fastest growing waste streams in the country. In 2020 alone, we threw away over 400,000 cell phones just in the state of Oregon. It's a huge problem. We wanted to make sure that, one, we could fix the devices that we already own because we wanted to protect our environment, but also to make sure that students and young people don't have to spend the average $1,500 they spend every single year on technological device repairs. So we knew it would save Oregonians money, it would be good for the environment and overall the right thing for consumers. So we advocated to pass the Right to Repair in Oregon last year, which was really exciting. We won after a multi-year effort to build up student advocacy across the state. I know like a good number of people in this room were at our lobby day. Very exciting. And so coming into this year, we were thinking about how we could build momentum off of that. And so there's a state law or a state bill in the Oregon legislature that would expand right to repair protections for wheelchairs and other devices that are critical to the healthcare of people all across the states. And so we have a committee hearing for our right to repair wheelchair bill. It's something our director, Charlie Fisher, works on really extensively, driving the coalition for. Osberg students is submitting testimony. We're building some grassroots support for it here on campus because we know that Osberg is the group that's really known across the state for working on right to repair. So we have a really big opportunity this year to extend those right to repair protections on a number of other really critical devices for medical care as well. And that hearing is going to be on Monday, on February 3rd at 3 p.m. So really great to have that committee hearing scheduled right away and build a lot of momentum into this bill at the beginning of the legislative session. So we have a lot of opportunity to not only drive this, but all of the other priorities that we're working on in Oregon this year. That was a really lengthy update, so I'll keep the other ones really short. We are also doing some work around saving the bees in Oregon because what more classic environmental issue is there than going and saying we need to save the bees? But in particular, we're working to ban some of the worst kinds of bee-killing pesticides in Oregon. So those neonicotinoids, which is a really fancy word for really bad pesticides that are coated on seeds and thrown over lawns and gardens and big industrial gardens and farms all across the state. Knowing that one, it's just really bad for the environment. It's two, killing our pollinators and could really disrupt our ecosystems. And 70% of all of the crops in Oregon are impacted by needing pollinators all over the state. And so if we don't save the bees and take action to really protect our ecosystems and habitat all across the state of Oregon, it could have really negative impacts on our ability to feed ourselves in the long term. And so we've been building support for that campaign. We worked with the public information specialist for the city of Eugene
quite recently, who is planning on using our campaign one-pager and article as the basis for a piece in their upcoming newsletter, which is going to be physically distributed to every single person in Eugene. So over 175,000 people, which is super exciting. So doing a lot of really good work to reach people all across the state and all across the city on some critical issues that are going to impact them. And then the last thing is, we'll talk about it more soon, but want to make a plug. Our Osberg Students Lobby Day is going to be on February 26th, Wednesday, all day. We'll make it back for Senate, have no fear. We would love all of you guys to join us. We have our RSVP, which I will send to Priscilla, and she can maybe send in your teams. Great, thank you. Right away, but we're going to be advocating on behalf of some of our campaigns to protect our oceans, end food waste here in Oregon, tackle plastic pollution, which you have probably heard Priscilla talk about many times, and also around this Right to Repair campaign. And so if you guys would like to join us, we'd love to have you there. We'll talk about more details and information later, but we'll let you guys get back to your meeting. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, Moreno was next.
Okay, yeah. As all of you know, Donald Trump was elected to be our president and has since signed several executive orders, including changing the meaning of birthright citizenship, pulling out of environmental agreements, tackling DEI programs in the workplace. So I think that as the representative body, we should make a statement around them. So I would like to move to form a working group on a resolution to denounce the executive order signed by Donald Trump.
Second thing,
Motion made by Miranda. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other? Great. Manira.
Hi, everyone. I'm just here to give an update on your student worker union. So we have another mediation session coming up in February, but this last Monday we had our big open membership meeting and we had over 300 people there, which is really good. And so moving forward up until, we don't know exactly when this will stop, but we're currently working on collecting strike pledges. So if you are a student worker and you haven't signed one of those, come find me. It's basically just saying I will go on strike, or if my coworkers go on strike, then I will go on strike. So that's kind of what we're working on. If you know other people that don't know that this is happening, please send them to me. I'm in the office literally all day like Wednesday, and that's a great time for people to come ask me questions about the meeting. So thank you.
Is there anyone else? Alex.
Speaker Lopez Dubois. Deputy Speaker Gary. Hi everyone. I'm Alex. I'm a student here. I also work for Partners for Hunger Free Oregon, which is a nonprofit that aims to eliminate hunger in Oregon. And we're working on two bills this session that I wanted to share with the class. They're House Bill 3182 and House Bill 3183. They may sound familiar because they are a continuation of the student basic needs work that Osberg and the Oregon Student Association worked on last session, but now that it's a long session, we can do a lot more. And I'd love all of your help in advocating for them. I know that the ASUO funds around $1 million for student basic needs support. And with this, if this bill were to pass, U of O would have state dollars to do that same work and additional dollars to address housing and textbook affordability issues. So it's a really, really good thing. We've got a really broad coalition and we've got our public hearing scheduled for February 13th. So not only you got Valentine's Day, but if you want to have an early Valentine's Day event with your partner, you can take her or him or them to Salem and testify on this bill with me. It'd be super fun and you should come. So if you're interested in joining us for that hearing or submitting written testimony, feel free to reach out to me. My email is alex@oregonhunger.org. And I also think that later on, we'll be coming back with a resolution for Senate to pass so that we can go to legislators and tell them that, hey, the students at U of O really want to be fed. So yeah, keep it on your radar and I'll be providing updates.
I have a question for you. In the amendments process, something that we just recently learned is that the governor cut out the funding for the Basic Needs Navigator, which is relevant. It's really And so my question is it possible in the amendment process, as the bill continues to go through, and is that something that partners will be advocating for to continue?
Yeah, that's a great question, Speaker. We're very lucky that we're a state where the governor's recommended budget, which is what you're referring to, is not the basis for the budget that the Ways and Means Committee and our legislature works with and votes on. Instead, at the current service level. So right now, the budget that's being worked on and the legislature includes funding for benefits navigators. And everyone we've spoken to in the legislature is saying, we want Julie to have a job. So I'm very, very confident that the legislature will continue to fund the benefits navigator position. It's something that we've talked to the governor about and is something that she feels sorry for. And it's like, sorry guys, I didn't need to do that. So yes, we're advocating to keep the funding. I feel very, very confident that the funding will exist at the end of the session. And we'll do more if we pass this.
Any other questions for Alex?
Sorry, not for Alex.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Sorry, I completely forgot this, but Alex's whole presentation reminded me of it. But through my job at the Sustainability Center, I've been working since last spring to plan the SNAP Fair, which will be happening on Monday. And what that is Oregon Department of Human Services workers will be coming to the university. We'll be in the Crater Lake rooms, and you can get your SNAP application done all in one go in one day. And you can get up to $292 of basically free groceries every month. So this is a really great resource. We will be tabling as ASUO there. We also will have, my coworkers are doing live demonstrations. So we're having a pickling demonstration and a cooking or growing demonstration too. And a bunch of other groups will be tabling. So that's a huge, really important thing to advertise, and please invite a bunch of people because there's not a lot of options or opportunities to get your SNAP processed all in one day. It usually takes months. So this is a really great thing to advertise to your friends, please.
When is it happening again?
It's happening on Monday from 12:30 to 4:30 in both the Crater Lake rooms.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Awesome. Anybody else for announcements? Anyone for public forum? We will go on to financial business. The financial status update is surplus is standing at $820,265. Unallocated reserves touched at $35,494. Yeah, okay. Our first surplus request is from Best Buddies. Is anyone here to speak on? Okay.
Hi guys, I'm Lucy. I'm one of the presidents of Best Buddies.
And I'm Solange. I'm the treasurer. Guys,
does everyone know what Best Buddies is here? Okay. Well, for anyone that doesn't, Best Buddies is a nationwide organization that creates a community for people with and without intellectual and developmental disabilities. And so here at UO, we meet every other week with us and our community partners. And just through chapter events, we've been doing a scavenger hunt. Tonight they're having a game show night with a little red carpet and photo booth, and fun things like that. And so while we're here, a little bit, okay.
So the last time I was here, I was asking for a little bit of extra funds for things that we had just purchased. This one is for travel funds that were just recently, processed from a flight that was supposed to happen in July. An interesting thing about this flight was that it was to Indiana for the Best Buddies Leadership Conference that happens every year. But it was on the day that no flights went out because there's that big outage with Microsoft. So Lucy, our president, was going to go on this flight. She didn't even go on the flight. And Lucy reached out multiple times to ask hey, has this flight been refunded? Let me know, but wasn't able to get any answer. And also this flight was purchased by our previous president from last year without consulting our current group. So it was way over what we had budgeted.
Yeah, our budget last year was decreased to $900 for the year. And so they allocated $500 of travel funds for it, but then she ended up spending almost $700 without consulting us. And so, yeah, I was at the airport till 3 a.m. and the flight just got canceled and there was no way to reschedule it. And then it just wasn't getting reimbursed and the travel agency didn't respond to me. And so we weren't aware that this flight was even on the budget for this year. Like there wasn't much communication. And since our club has grown so much in size recently this year, it's almost like tripled the amount of people attending. We've just flown through money so much faster. So we were like opting to not go to the conference this year and use those $500 for extra expenses for like our club meetings. And we were just like working on that. And then we realized that the flight was on the budget this year and just had been processed. So.
And so we are requesting $691.95, round up to $692 if you would like, so that we are no longer over budget.
Well, thanks for coming, and I'm sorry for that travel back. That was Senator Dell.
Thank you. Pretty straightforward, I think. I move to authorize spending from surplus to group Best Buddies OS number OS 257 in the amount of 692 to existing line item Best Buddies International Leadership Conference.
Second.
Motion made by Dawn.
So this flight was booked in advance and then charged, and you guys didn't know about it for this year? Oh, that's terrible.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other? Great.
Thank you. So much, I appreciate it.
Law of intellectual property. Anyone speak on that? No. This is one we tabled last week. Somebody wants to table anything?
We did table the request from Law of Intellectual Property.
Motion made by Melina, seconded Fisher. Is there discussion in there?
I'm just gonna flag that this is supposed to be for an event tomorrow. So I don't know if it's only $500. I it's like.
Any other discussion? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Chinese flagship Mahjong student leadership system.
Hi everyone, and happy Lunar New Year. We're going to talk about that today. My name is Shelby. I use she, they pronouns, and I am the treasurer at Mahjong.
My name is Meme.
And we're just requesting $700 today. So tomorrow, because this week we have Chinese New Year, or Lunar New Year, we're putting on an event for that, for anyone who can't make it home during the weekend. And we are getting catering from Spring House. That'll be $700 for that. And also we're going to try and get some goodies from the Asian Mart. We're going to get some Tongan, get some aloe drinks, and maybe corn cakes, who knows. But yes, and it will be hosting around 50 people and be an LLC. But that's it.
Awesome. Shelby, thank you for being here. Withers?
I'm gonna make a motion.
I move to authorize spending from surplus to Chinese flagship Mahjong Student Leadership Board OS number 292 in the amount of $700 to line item events.
Just get it.
Motion made by Withers, seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other? Magic the Gathering. So anyone care to speak on that request?
I move to table the request from Magic the Gathering.
Second.
Motion made by Ludeman, seconded Stroh. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other? Eugene's forbidden fruit.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm the president of Forbidden Fruit.
And I'm Seth, I'm the treasurer.
We're requesting, I believe it's $590 to buy a film license for the movie Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's a vital part of the shows we're doing next week on Thursday and Friday in the GSH Great Room. And yeah, we have to get those so we don't get sued.
Right, of course. Okay. Scrub?
Hi, yes, thank you for being here. I just have a quick question, and it actually might be for POC. I went to the meeting for this, and I just wanted to, I couldn't remember or not. Did they build that out into their budget? Because I remember them talking about needing the licensing for that. Is that already allocated in that, though, that they don't need to request this?
No, we were told that get a surplus for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I just,
I'm double checking. Okay, but the request would be entirely.
I just remember it being like, that you guys brought it up, that it is necessary to like literally what you guys do.
So regarding, Forbidden Fruit's fiscal year 26 budget request, it was requested in the programming line item for film license, $167, line item winter film license, $167, spring film license, $166, and that was approved in full by PFC and is ultimately up to the decision of Senate on Saturday, whether or not that gets fully approved.
And that's correct, that's just for next year though, I think that was my mistake. Okay, sorry, so yes, yeah, totally agree. I guess I forgot that it was just for next year. Let me go, I'm gonna make the motion. Okay. I move to approve funding from surplus for group Eugene Forbidden Fruit OS number OS 166I in the amount of $590 to its existing line item name movie licenses winter.
Second, Dylan.
Motion made by Scrub, seconded Hesbeck. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, geology fund.
Hello, everybody. I'm the vice president. My name's David Peabody. I'm the vice president of the UO Geology Club. If you don't know who we are, what we do, basically a club for anybody that's interested in geological sciences or sciences in general. We host weekly events, which include things like advising nights with professors. We have speakers come in. Actually, last week we had someone come from Department of Natural Resources in Washington. They had a talk. Good attendance for that. Basically, our request comes down to our line item for enrichment events, which is what we use to fund the pizza that we provide at these weekly events. It is pretty close to running out. So we are requesting $975 to cover the end of this term and the next term. Our average PO cost is about $75. And once it's processed, it comes in below that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Do I have any questions? Dylan?
Pretty straightforward. I move to authorize spending from surplus to group geology OS 111I in the amount of $975 to existing line item enrichment events.
Motion made by Dylan, second by Lopez. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Heather? Congratulations. Thank you. Anyone to speak on a request for a like?
Hello everyone, this is McNall. I'm the financial director for ASUO the UO's taiko drumming ensemble.
And I'm Max, the media and outreach coordinator for Ahiri Taiko. If you guys don't know, Ahiri Taiko is the University of Oregon's taiko ensemble. Taiko is the musical and visual art of playing traditional Japanese drums.
So we're here to change our original request for $994 to go to Seattle to participate in in the first of Elias Chantelou's original composition performance. And we would like to change that to $2,510 because we had not originally looked at the per diem for food. And so we were quite below that. So we would just like to get that changed to cover our food. And we would also like to change the name of the line item that's going into from transportation to.
Great. Ackman, then Lee.
Is it allowed to change something that's not like $1,000 to $1,000? Because I know that like the meeting thing is that like, can we just like, because you know how they have to normally meet with a senator if it's like, can we?
I can speak a little more to this. They did come into the office the other day and they met with me and Liz and they explained their whole situation. It was their first time going through the budget, the request. And so they asked a lot of questions and we figured it all out together. And we just decided that we talked with SOFs too, that it'd be easier to just change the name and the amount in Senate rather than resubmitting an entire form, because then they would have to deny it and then go through the form.
Oh, cool. And then how much was it for again?
The new request is for $2,510.
Here's a yield, thank you.
Moreno and then Withers. Withers.
Sorry, can you restate what this would fund?
Oh, it'll fund the event, us going to Seattle for the Seattle Taiko Composition Challenge, which is an event where hosted by Elias Chanteloup and Hidaka Taiko. Elias is a taiko artist from Seattle, and Hidaka Taiko with the Seattle University's Korea Taiko group. The event is basically they challenged the greater taiko community of North America to write an original piece before March and to perform it at a concert that will be happening March 8th.
Okay, cool. And how many people would be going on this trip?
It's 8 people, and I can explain the breakdown more of like the $2,509. So $519 would be going towards our lodging for 2 days for the more expensive of the 2 lodging options, because we get 2 options. And then the gas would be $150, $75 total like round trip for 2 cars. And then food would be $69 per travel day per person for 2 days for 8 people. So that's $1,104. And then for a full day per person, which would be 8 people for 1 day, which is $736.
Okay. Before you, I want to say I love your club so much. I love watching your performances.
Bauman and then Ludener.
I was wondering, I was just looking at the request. What's your method of selecting who's gonna go?
It was pretty much volunteer.
I yield.
$2,510 to line item events.
That's kind of.
Question for PFC, is there anything having to do with line item names that wouldn't allow them to purchase stuff or travel if the line item is just called events? Or maybe that's more like a soft thing, because I know they said they wanted their line item to be events.
Their line item for travel to be events. Yeah, no, any line item for travel has to be labeled as travel or something related to travel.
So should you event everything?
Is that okay with you to use the one to travel?
Seattle trips.
Yeah, we can change it to travel.
To amend my motion.
Second scrub.
Motion made by the second scrub, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Okay.
I move to authorize funding from surplus to the ASUO DICO as number is 180I and the amount of 2,500 and to line item.
Motion made by Liv and seconded by Moreno. Ducharme is on discussion.
Hello. I'm just reiterating my stance here for both this group and I think more importantly for the American Marketing Association that I don't think that non-PFC allocated surplus funding should be spent on conferences and out-of-state travel for individual students. I think there are more impactful ways that this one-off spending can be used, like, for example, immigration law services. There's an executive order just this evening that said that the federal government's going to go after pro-Palestinian student protesters who are international students and revoke their visas. I just wanted to state that and let you guys know that before I'll be voting no, not for any of your, I'm sure your very hard work into planning this trip.
I just wanted to clarify for Senator Ducharme that this is not for the American Marketing Association, but I think your stance will still remain since it's for travel.
Any other discussion? Okay, it's been Lopez. Aye. Muhammad. Bell. Aye. Otter. Aye. Acton. Aye. Pinera.
Aye.
Moreno.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Withers.
Aye.
Ramirez Pineda.
Aye.
Nagarajan.
Aye.
Wu. Isbeck. Aye. Agdalena. Skrill.
Aye.
Dillon.
Aye.
Bauman. Sorry. Ludovic.
Aye.
Bauman.
Aye.
Ducharme.
Nay.
Cole.
Aye.
Jenkins Hiscox.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
And I say aye as well. Have a great time, you guys. All right. Moving right along. East Ducks.
This form is tonight.
Okay. Jay, it's good to see you again.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll reintroduce myself. Jay, president of ASUO. Before we move into the presentation and the hearing, we would like to talk about our request that was denied. It was denied due to branding issues. At least that's what was said in the blurb. We did reach out immediately to Euro Branding and also sent up a follow-up email. Sent a follow-up email saying like, we need this urgently with the little urgent tag on it. I've not gotten a reply. That being said, we do have the merch on the on the slideshow. There's nothing even remotely close to anything that would be copyright infringement. So I think we have to get the request not denied before we move into the hearing. So yeah.
So approved it and put it on the agenda, and then they denied it after. So yeah, I don't know that it would be worth going, like, maybe go through the whole presentation. Just approve it anyway.
It's three slides. Yeah, it's only 3 slides.
Hey, Coach Travel, who wants to hear it? Okay. Go for it. Yeah.
He's like.
Okay. Well, we just moved through the slideshow. For starters, this is the quote for the merch. It's a new quote. It's not the one we originally sent in. We were able to make the prices different. So for the shirt, it's under $10 to get us in that. Yeah. And the hoodies are now $40. So we're $10 below the $50 margin budget requirement.
No, wait. Oh, yeah, because the 999, my bad.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're getting 100. We have 195s. We are confirming that the 95s have not received money from other organizations on campus. I've also spoken with everybody. They claim to have not, but we're verifying anyway. Yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing the beautiful merch that we spent the last couple months on, it is on the next slide. Here are hoodie. It's a little creamier than the projector shows off. It's nice. Forgot the word, but Nice, creamy white. Yeah, it's more of an off-white than is shown on the screen. We did.
Crew is the name, crew, the name of the color.
Oh, Ecru, yeah, ECRU.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll see that color.
It's beautiful. We did make this as cheap as physically possible. We did have to cut one of the colors on the front of the hoodie. We had a black outline around the Ace of Ducks, and we had to cut it to make it work. There's been a lot of back and forth between us and the printing agency, as well as working with our graphic designer really hard for a lot of months. It's been wonderful. So yeah, this is our final design for the hoodie. Hope you guys like it. And if you're curious about the shirt, that's on the next slide. The Ace of Ducks on the front is updated with a red outline. So just as a heads up, yeah, I made it a little larger, and it's a really cool shirt. It's a really cool hoodie. Our club is incredibly excited to receive it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can approve this today. Can you guys want?
Yeah, I was gonna say, check the form to see if I can just approve it and talk to us more about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I think, look, if we want to. That's right.
Well, I just have a quick question because I'm curious. What did UO branding say was so wrong with the word?
It was just soft. Whoever denied it just said that we had to ask them. There was nothing. I emailed them twice. They haven't responded.
Oh, okay. So UO branding didn't come to you and
No,
say like it was just the sauce.
It was just one person.
But I don't know what would be the issue. Like I get there's a duck on it, but it looks nothing like their duck, like Oregon stuff.
That was my question. Of why. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty confident we're clear, but it was in the.
Okay, let's get that figured out and come back. I yield.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you guys just want to resend it, or have you get confirmation from them, I'm sorry that you guys came anyway. But then I'll just put you back in the agenda if you want to come back in person virtually. Okay.
Beautiful. If we can't get an email back from Go Branding, what should we do?
They don't have an office, I don't think, unless like anyone knows otherwise. Yeah.
Should we just resubmit the form and hope to get approved?
Okay. Do you know Ken? He's the guy that's in charge. So he's in our office. If you speak to him, just like.
If you guys speak to Ken and need any backup, please let me know.
Yeah. But because Ken is in charge of the stuff, like he's sometimes talking. There's somebody here and
I just want to caution because a few weeks ago we denied a request for just like a polo being $40. And since you guys have two materials, a lot of senators deny a request like that because it gets so close to the $50 line. So I don't know if maybe someone from PFC can work with you and like figure out how to cut it cost a little bit lower because I don't want you guys to go back, come back, get denied, and then have to figure it out again. So I don't know if one of you would be willing to do that, but we've seen it happen before, and I don't want that to happen again. So I go.
Wait a minute, I'm down.
just put that in a second right now. I'm still have discussion.
I will say to the point about the $40, I didn't think about that, but they also were saying that, they're verifying that no one's getting it from anywhere else, which is like, I definitely see the risk, but I think it's a slightly different situation because they're doing that.
Okay. Well, this is kind of different because the hoodie's $40, right? And then the shirt is $10. So like it's very if they only get the shirt, then that's like they have a lot of space. But if it's just the hoodie, we denied polos that were $44 a few weeks back. So if we're gonna deny them, we have to, kind of take all these things into consideration.
I will say that one of the main reasons that people were denying the request about the polos is that they were mostly unbranded. It was pretty unremarkable polos. It was just so they could provide business casual clothes to their club. This seems like a different situation, so I wouldn't worry as much about it getting denied.
We have Dylan and then Moreno, but before Dylan goes, I will say I think this is something, because merch we know is something that comes to Senate all the time, that maybe the surplus accessibility committee should also keep up to. It's just Dylan and then Moreno.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is branded merch and the shirt is under $10, so it doesn't even count for anything, so it's just a hoodie that would be counted anyway. Yeah, that's all.
Moreno, Bo.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's actually not different because the $44 accounted for them getting the branding, which they were also struggling with, but that 44 was the polo with the branding. So it is the same situation.
Just gonna reiterate what Moreno said, and I also just want to say I would have approved either one. I just want to reiterate that like it's not our job to decide which one has more utility. It's our job to decide whether they're being fiscally responsible.
I just have a clarifying question for you guys. Are people getting the hoodie and the shirt? They're getting both, so then it's right at like 49.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's $10 or less, then it doesn't.
It's 40, like, we're like.
Oh, so it doesn't add up?
Right, like when we give out the shirts.
The
for the
item
games.
is $10 or less, then it does not count because it's not worth counting anything under $10.
It's like if you get like sanitizer from something or something like that, like. We're $10. Yeah. Anybody else for discussion? Okay, the motion on the floor is to table. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, we'll see you guys soon. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
American Marketing Association. Yeah, thanks, Jane.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so we wanted to request funds for the 2025 International Collegiate Conference for all the AMA chapters. So just a little bit about who we are. We are the only marketing club here on campus. So, we're dedicated basically to helping our members grow in professional development, specifically in marketing. So we are one of the 320 AMA collegiate chapters across North America. We provide a space for students to develop their skills, connect with industry professionals, specifically in marketing, and gain real world experience. So what we do, kind of going on what I just said, we definitely bring in a lot of speakers from different areas and different industries, specifically for marketing. We've done a mix of some site visits. So actually our fall term, we went to Thesis, an agency with AKSI, which was really good. And then we do a mix of networking opportunities as well. So we've done a number of club collaborations and yeah. So I kind of just wanted to talk through our story. We basically started the club completely from scratch. A lot of our exec members actually all met in spring term of last year. Pretty much everybody in the club graduated. And so a lot of the exec members, me included, actually only went to a couple of meetings in the spring term, and we were the only ones that knew about the club. And so we were actually able to go on that site visit and be able to bond a lot with each other and also the previous exec team. However, they didn't really have a lot of time to give us guidance on how to run a club or how to run the American Marketing Association. So the first thing we identified was that we actually were not nationally affiliated, and we hadn't been affiliated since before COVID. So that was our first point of attack, at least to spend our funds. So actually in the spring term, at the end of the spring term, we were able to bring on Nate, our VP of Finance, and figure out a way to become affiliated. Slide. So because we were starting from scratch, we had to do a lot of tabling. We were able to speak in a lot of our marketing classrooms. Specifically, we got assigned a new advisor, John Davis, which has been incredibly helpful, and being able to speak in his classes, specifically in marketing 311 and 415, has been a great way to introduce people to the club. And then also we were able to make some t-shirts. I don't think we have anything else other than those that have been great for representing and also having materials for tabling as well. And here's our most recent event that we're super proud of. Actually, just last week, we had the owner of Union Los Angeles and director of brand marketing, Adrian Miles from Jordan Brand. And we did also a collaboration with Women in Business for this event. We had over 90 plus members that scanned in, and obviously there are plenty of people that didn't come with IDs. So it's like a great turnout, especially to see how far we've come. I was very proud.
So yeah, you may be asking, what is the AMA International Collegiate Conference? So the event takes place from April 3rd, April 5th in New Orleans. As I mentioned earlier, there's like 320 different chapters all across America. We don't know actually how many will attend, but this will obviously be a great way for us to get to meet the other members of the American Marketing Association. We obviously haven't been able to do that in the past, and the club doesn't have a history of doing that because we weren't actually affiliated. So this is the first time we would be able to do that and have the opportunity for our members. At the event, there's a mix of workshops, also having industry leaders come in and speak about marketing. I know specifically the most impressive one I saw was the CMO of the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a big sports guy, so I was really excited about that. And yeah, the workshops as well. So people will be able to get a lot more hands-on marketing experience, which I feel like we haven't had a lot of time to work on and provide to our members, other than the speaker events. And yeah, the career opportunities as well. There will be a number of different professionals from across marketing at the event, and hopefully we'll be able to network with them as well. So yeah, that's just a list of the different competitions and events. For each specific event, only 3 to 5 people from our chapter can represent us at the event. So we plan on kind of gauging interest on people's favorite events. I didn't even get the chance to list all of the events. But yeah, that's just like a few of them to list off. And I also didn't want to put all the different sponsorship names for the different events, but those are just a list of the different companies that sponsor the event. Specifically, I know Deloitte will actually also have their own individual workshops as well. So if you determine on what those are, I just said Deloitte workshops. And so yeah, and I'm going to pass it on to Nate. He's going to talk to the travel engineering.
Yeah, so it's mostly pretty straightforward. As I mentioned earlier, the actual conference takes place from the 3rd to the 5th. So hopefully we can fly in on the 2nd, get registered that day, and fly on the 6th. Yeah, on the 3rd to 5th. As I mentioned earlier as well, that's when we attend all those speeches, all those workshops, panel discussions, competitions, all those kinds of events around that on those 3 days.
Okay, now I
Yeah. So here are just a few of the possible events or activities we can do outside of the conference. Obviously, New Orleans is a pretty big, well-known city here, culturally rich and all that. So hopefully we'll have the opportunity at least get involved with 1 or 2 of these. Although most of our events do go until pretty late at night, so we don't have a lot of free time for these, but hopefully maybe like 1 or 2. So yeah. So here's the cost breakdown. So I'm gonna just briefly cover how I got each of these 4 main numbers right here. So the price per member, per student member, is a flat rate of $288. Normally it would be higher, but because we're taking more than 3 people, it's lowered down to $288. So we have that, and then our club advisor has a rate of $339. So we did $288 times 14 plus $339 to get this number. Also, all these, as far as hotel and attendance, these are all on the website, which I linked in the surplus engage form. So if anyone has access to that, you can visit the website, look through all these numbers. So for the hotels, each room, including a tax rate, is $259 per room per night. And then we plan to get 8 rooms with 7 doubles and 1 single. This is subject to, this might change because depending on how comfortable people are sharing rooms, we might need like 1 or 2 more singles. But hopefully, so we have like some room in the budget to accommodate that. But yeah, so we just did that 259 times 4 nights times 8 rooms to get that. For food, we just did 25 per meal, 3 times 3 meals times 4 days times 15 people. Plus a little bit for sales tax. I'm not sure what the tax looks like in New Orleans, but just to be comfortable and all that. So flight prices are pretty, obviously they're subject to change with time. The first day I checked, it was like $250 round trip. The next day it was like $650. That includes luggage costs. So it's possible to change, but yeah, this number is pretty good. And totaling a cost of $34,000 is our final number. So yeah, if we get approved, we hope to send out a little form just going over asking our members like what their career aspirations, career goals, just personal information and why they think they're fit to be a part of this event. Also, as Scott mentioned earlier, as there's many competitions, and only 3 to 4 members can attend each one. We're going to ask about maybe which kind of competitions our members are interested in being a part of. And obviously, all this, other things like that. So I would say the main benefit of this event is kind of just like setting a benchmark, kind of setting a goal for not just the AMA, but just like UO students in general, like just marketing students. If we go to this event, we're able to do something like this. We're like making a goal for the next AMA to work towards. So students in the fall will have this opportunity to work towards. There's like case studies and all these other AMA benefits that we weren't aware of because we weren't affiliated until this year. So the next AMA can take advantage of all those benefits and work towards this goal and expand their networks and bring back a lot of real world marketing experience to their classrooms. And I think just overall, it follows values of ASUO, of our club, and of UO as well. Said it. Yeah.
Thank you both for being here. That was a nice slideshow. Okay, hold on a minute. I got Lou's first. Our paper base because I didn't see my first. Before you go. Yeah, excellent slideshow. And I just want to clarify. So the folks that are going to be moving, you have not been selected. No, okay.
Just the exact 6 and our.
We know it's 15. We just don't know.
And do you know how many seniors are on your exec board?
4. Okay, so Nate is also one of our.
Hi, I just wanted to say I really appreciate your presentation, how detailed it was. So I'm just going to make the motion and we can continue the discussion. I move to authorize spending from surplus to Group American Marketing Association, OS number OS 136 in the amount of $34,000 to main line item AMA International Collegiate Conference.
Motion made by Lou, seconded by Lou, but there's still discussion. Senator Potter.
Thank you for coming tonight. I just had 2 questions. One was, is it that all 6 exec members are going to pick out of the 15? And then also, I'm wondering, could you just go into a little bit more detail about the advisor? So would the advisor's cost of travel come out of the request you have? And then also, are they a student or are they like outside of the U of O?
Yeah, so our advisor he's a marketing professor.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not a student. And yeah, that was accounted for in our price. The advisor, I don't know what the Senate saw, but yeah. And was there another question?
I was just wondering, are all 6 members of your exec going to pick the 15 collaboratively?
Yeah, so at least our plan for the application, obviously it's been a little bit rough. Normally everybody's supposed to pay dues, or like official AMA members are supposed to pay dues to university, but obviously this is our first year being affiliated, so it wasn't super easy to recruit those big members. So our idea, obviously we have a mailing list from all the members in our engage, was to send it out in our newsletter and sort of go through the application form and I guess choose.
Thank you, I yield.
I'm curious, where would those dues go? Like in a regular meeting?
They go to the can you like they go to the they don't go directly to our club funds, they go to like the national chapter. Yeah.
Are they required dues?
Yeah, so especially last spring term, we used our funds to obviously initiate the chapter and then also to members ourselves.
Okay, so wonderful. Senator Withers and then Senator Ramirez.
I think most of my question was just answered. But I see there's a pretty big price difference between whether or not you get individual hotel rooms for each member or have 2 people to a room in your budget. And I was wondering, it looks like if you got 8 hotel rooms, the price would be like under 29,000. But if you got a hotel room for each person, it's like 37,500. So can you explain what you yeah, I'm looking at the budget that's posted.
Yeah, so like originally we like when I brought my idea, because when I like planned this out, I brought that idea breaks out members, just said like, hey, should we do all singles or should we do doubles, like lower the cost? Like I doesn't matter like just to lower cost in general. Yeah, we just decided on the doubles. But there is some room like doubles, mostly having doubles will be better, I feel like. We feel like. But we just have some room in there in the budget to fit one other single, which would up the price just like a little bit. So yeah, that's what we have. So yeah, the 15 singles.
Okay. Could you go back to the slide with the budget? Looks like the math is adding up pretty differently. Cause that is like 34,000, but this is 28, like 8,000. I'm just a little confused about why the numbers are so different. On this versus, like, where did the 34,000 come from? Cause it looks like all the other numbers are the same. So, I know it's rounded up, but it seems to be rounded up quite a bit. Cause if you have the 8 times, I know like this much money and like $6,000 a month. It's like a lot just for a little rounded up for even an extra.
Oh, that's not up to date.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
I'll send it different.
Okay. Okay. No, you're good. Thanks. I yield.
So is the number preferred the 34,000 or the 28,848 dollars? Because that's I mean I just added. It's there. That's what I got. 28,848. Just to clarify, well, I guess you already made the motion. So just trying to.
Engage says 34,000.
So the number y'all are requesting is that 34 and not this one.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I mean,
We'll continue with speakers. Ramirez, Pinetta, then Moreno, then
Hi, sorry. I also had two questions. The first one might be very like detail oriented, so if you don't have an answer to it, no worries at all. It was in the breakdown cost, it said luggage costs. Were you guys planning on bringing like an extra carry-on, anything else, or is that like it, or does that make sense? Like, you know, you pay your 50-pound bag that goes underneath, but typically you get like a personal item and a carry-on
Yeah, that just includes the like
Okay.
that goes in the.
Okay, I was just questioning if you were gonna pay for like taking extra stuff. Sorry, that was just a very detailed oriented question. And my second question was, if you didn't receive the funds today, is there a plan to seek funds somewhere else? Or would it be kind of like, if we don't get the funds from here, we can't attend the event and this doesn't happen?
How?
Okay, great, thanks, I yield.
Moreno, then Mohammed, then Cole.
I yield.
Mohammed.
I was just gonna bring up that it's generally like best practice to run it up by an amount, so that just in case the unit returns into surplus, it's easier than just coming back to surplus. So personally, I'm okay with like the plus 500 to minus 5 or $5,000 difference. Like we can always recoup that.
Senator Cole.
Yeah, I was just curious about the advisor charging a fee. So if that's outside of the travel costs, my only question is like if anyone knows if that's like ethical. It seems that's I just don't know why an advisor would be asking the club that they volunteered to advise for to pay them like a professional fee, as if they're like, you know, I don't know if you guys can speak to that.
The fee, it's not him charging the fee. He has a price to be allowed to go to the event. So that's what that fee is. Each of the attendance fees.
Okay, so it's for them to attend the conference.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not him
Okay.
charging us. And so yeah, then obviously it would be his attendance and also the hotel.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I thought he was charging you guys to go on this trip. That makes more sense. Thank you.
Potter, and Dylan.
Hi, I was just wondering, can you speak to why you decided to bring the advisor? And if like it's required for the advisor to come?
I think speaking to the fact that this is our first year and also this is his first year being an MA chapter advisor, we are learning a lot as days go on about even what it means to be a nationally affiliated chapter. And so it'll be a great way for him to also speak to the other faculty advisors that are going to be there. There's a lot more well-established AMA chapters. I think the most established one is definitely Wharton's AMA chapter. And so I think we can definitely learn a lot from them in terms of how to grow affiliated chapter.
Dylan, no Fisher.
I was gonna say, I'd feel more comfortable giving less of a leeway than $5,000. That's a lot of money, and I think, because you guys said if you guys can do the doubles, it'll be closer to that 2,900 number. I think you guys should push for that. I don't think you all need singles when you're going on a trip like this. So I'd be more comfortable giving that. If you guys need more, if the prices do go up, you can just come back and request more from surplus if needs be.
That was also something I was curious about, and how surplus money is spent and how that works specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just come back and request more if it doesn't.
Well, in terms of actually spending the money, is it like through a lot of reimbursement, like just showing receipts or that's just
I yield to you there.
So once we go through, we approve the money, it'll go through SOS, and you can do all the intense travel stuff, and they'll help you walk through that. And then you're gonna
I wanna call the question.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify so that we're all on the same page that the club advisor is a professor, not a student, so that's why it's $339. Thank you.
Okay, great. Call the question.
I would call the question.
And this is for the original $34,000. We'll go Lopez, Mohammed. Rowe.
We can rediscuss.
Okay, there'll be order in the Senate, please. Vote. Potter. Ackman. Pinero.
Aye.
Moreno.
Aye.
Fisher. Withers.
Wait, sorry, can we
reiterate what we're voting on? Because I would rather that people be informed on what they're voting on.
Are we allowed to, after we vote this round, are we allowed to go back and do something else?
Because if the motion doesn't pass,
The motion doesn't pass, then yes.
Okay, nay. Nay.
Ramirez Pineda.
Oh, sorry, nay.
Nagarajan. Aye. Wu.
Aye.
Nesbeck.
Aye.
Magdalena.
Nay.
Stroh.
Nay.
Dillon.
Nay.
Liverman.
Aye.
Fountain.
Aye.
Ducharme.
Nay.
Cole.
Aye.
Bacon Tiscott.
Aye.
Gary.
Nay.
I say nay. Give us a second to kill.
Nay. Change my vote to nay.
Sure.
Want to hear another case? Don't have that if there's a fun.
I don't understand.
It's just.
I didn't change that one.
Okay, the motion was not adopted, so now we can lay a new motion.
I move to authorize spending from surplus to Group American Marketing Association OS number 136 in the amount of 30,000 to new line item AMA International Collegian Conference.
Second row.
That will give you guys a buffer.
Motion made by Dillon, second by Sproul. Is there any discussion? Okay, great. Hold on. $30,000 is the new number. Lopez. Aye. Muhammad. Bo.
Aye.
Har.
Aye.
Ackman. Aye. Piñera.
Aye.
Moreno.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Withers.
Aye.
Ramirez Pineda.
Aye.
Nagarajan. Aye. Wu. Esbeck. Aguilera. Stroh.
Aye.
Dillon.
Aye.
Ludeman.
Aye.
Bauman.
Aye.
Ducharme.
Nay.
Cole.
Aye.
Jenkins Ciscos.
Aye.
Gary.
Aye.
And I stand. Well, have a great time in New Orleans, guys. Okay, thanks, everybody. Let's see. Okay, we have included financial business. I'm going to preface that introducing a resolution, and as you know, resolutions typically need to be submitted to events, and you add to the agenda, working group response to the floor. However, I will ask that tonight we suspend the rules for this resolution, and I will turn it over to the chair of the Department of Finance to explain sort of why the nature of this resolution is and why it's important that we sort of act on this tonight. But actually, I'll let you explain.
Yeah, hello everyone. So the reason that we need to push this through tonight, well, let's take it back a little bit. I don't know if you all remember, I spoke here a few weeks ago about our concerns with the forensics department program. And then last week, we read a memo to the Senate and put that in the public record, kind of highlighting a lot of these concerns. And there was some very harsh adversarial language in there relating to the director of the program. We have since met with numerous students, we've talked with many people, and our stance has changed. We now admit that we were in the wrong, especially pushing such an adversarial negative connotation into the public record. I won't get into all the nitty gritty, but we made a mistake, and I made a mistake in pushing that through and thinking that the facts of the situation were in that light. And so we have now changed our stance. We're here today to both apologize to the affected parties and to start going down this path together on a more positive note and with one united goal. I think that summarizes things pretty well. If anyone has any questions, or we read it first and then questions.
Well, if anyone has questions first, then we can want to suspend the rules. Hold on. Brenda, Withers, and then Gary. Withers and then Gary.
I'd just like to know why you guys changed your opinion.
We were under the impression that the department would run more smoothly, more transparently, and kind of under a better leadership. And by pushing things more into the administrative side and into the hands of certain administrators, we've since kind of learned that those administrators were not the people that we really wanted to support and wanted to see controlling this program, the funding that comes along with it, and the students that work really hard and are very passionate about this work. So yeah, basically we found out new facts about our person that we thought was not first. That makes any sense? Yeah, no, does that not answer your question?
So what I interpreted from what you just said is nothing changed with Tron or whatever that situation is, but the backup, like whatever would happen if one of the if it's debate or the other one, if it was trying to be moved, then that would be even worse situation.
Yeah, we definitely do not want to move it. And on top of that, there is some change in circumstance with Trone. We had previously believed that a misrepresentation he had made was that would have harmed the students. It wasn't in our interest. It turns out that he was instead trying to fight for them, to fight on their behalf, to give them what they need and what they want and what we wanted. He was doing so to give me a sense, how should I put this? We needed to word things in such a way to make the administrators in charge of him, to make them more happy with the situation and the facts of that.
I think the committee was able to get more facts on the case that involved Trump that that we were sort of confused about before. That was what was in the memos, that we said we were confused, we weren't getting the facts that we needed. And we met again this week with debate students and mock students in Trump, and had a meeting at the end of last week with the dean of the Clark Honors College and her money person. And we were able to sort of get a lot of the answers that we were looking for between them and
Am I still correct in believing that the students who were going to debate were kind of coerced into it, and the ones in the other, what is the other group, mock trial, where their labor was used kind of unethically? That still stands.
Speak to that, Miranda.
Are you talking about the class that Trone is collecting students from?
Yes.
So that did change. There was negotiation between the Clark's Honors College dean and Trone, and that is no longer on the syllabus from my understanding. But yes. And yes, in the memo, we did write that we believe that there was differences in interest for mock trial and debate, and we thought there was more resources going into debate. But we did look at numbers, and there is equal amount of resources. Our main concern was how the director of forensics, Trone, was leading the department, and we thought it would be better if the finances were led by somebody else. But after talking to students and finding some things out about the Clark's Honors College and the people that lead that department, we changed our mind, and we think that the finances should remain within the forensics department and continue to be led by Trump. I yield.
And I think it's worth saying that, the committee can have its own thoughts about Trump, but the students that we met with that work with him every single day from mock trial, that have sent us long letters, emails, have all expressed just how important he is, crucial he is to the department, the survival of the program. I think that's just a lot. Yeah.
Ayo.
Gary.
So, sorry if this is redundant, but I just wanna clarify that, where does funding for forensics stand in 26 currently? Because last I heard it was that they were being zero funded, but obviously that has changed with recent conversation.
Yes, it is the DSC's intention to be sent back to committee during Saturday's budget bonanza, and we will readjust to approve their request in full.
Thank you.
Ramirez Pineda.
Hey, I was just hoping you could read the memo before you read the other thing. I was looking for it in the minutes and then in the agenda, but I couldn't find it just to remind myself what it said specifically, or I don't know if you could put it in Teams. That would be so wonderful, thank you.
Okay, I just dropped it. Is there anybody else in speaker or that wants to speak? Just have it all fixed. Okay. Okay, because the nature of this situation is evolving, we have 3 days till we have to vote the committee to finalize our budget. A lot of folks waiting on this. I'm gonna move to suspend the Senate rules. So we can pass.
Second.
I move to suspend Senate.
Second, Moreno.
Motion made by Lopez to adopt, second by Moreno. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other? Right, motion's adopted.
Aye.
Nero.
Dr. Redondo.
Yeah, I move to adopt and then everything. Yes.
I move to adopt the ASUO Senate resolution in support of the University of Oregon Forensics Department. Authors GFC Chair Kyle Richardson, Vice Chair Jada Woods Flores, Representative Madison Kunkler, Senator Victoria Pinheiro, Senate Treasurer Priscilla Moreno, Speaker of the Legislature Julie Lopez Dubois. Co-authors Senator Jessica Fisher and Senator J.B. Dillon. Acknowledges that one of the university's core functions is to engage students and advance their out-of-classroom experience at the University of Oregon. Affirms that we provide a platform for students to gain experience as leaders and strive to provide for the social, cultural, educational, and physical development of our members. Seeks to catalyze personal growth and offer opportunities for students to thrive through structured programs that promote skill building and research, oral advocacy, argumentation, and public speaking. Addresses institutional issues that resonate with student concerns, including the need for sustainable funding, administrative oversight, and programmatic continuity in academic and extracurricular activities. Having considered the impact of the UO Forensics Department providing students with transformative opportunities in debate, mock trial, and other forensics-related activities which develop critical thinking, leadership, and public engagement skills. Desires to ensure that forensics activities remain accessible and well supported through institutional funding, transparent governance, and student-led leadership in collaboration with the Director of Forensics. Asserts that university leaders shall seek to promote an environment where students with expertise and interest in forensics can meaningfully contribute to the university's core mission of fostering values of free inquiry, intellectual expertise, and productive argument among divergent points of view. Understands that in comparison to peer institutions, the University of Oregon must maintain competitive structures and financial support to ensure that students engaged in debate and mock trial receive adequate institutional backing. This is validated by similar programs at institutions such as the University of Utah, Purdue University, University of Maryland, Indiana University, University of Wisconsin, UCLA, USC, University of Washington, Rutgers University, University of Minnesota, and the University of Iowa, all of which have structured and institutionalized support for forensics programs. Having noted that the UO Forensics Department, under the leadership of Director Tron Jacobson, has cultivated a legacy of excellence in competitive speech and debate, producing nationally recognized student competitors and fostering a community dedicated to intellectual rigor and public discourse. It expresses the need to consolidate resources, opportunities, and expertise currently spread across various administrative units to enhance the efficiency and stability of forensics programming at UO. Emphasizes expressed student desires to educate themselves and the relative successes they have achieved in forensics, as evidenced by competitive tournament achievements, national recognition, and the development of skills that contribute to academic and professional success. Expresses a formal apology on behalf of the department's finance committee to the director of forensics and the greater student body for previous misrepresentation of the department's intentions. Therefore, let it be resolved effective immediately by the Associated Students of the University of Oregon Senate that 1, encourages the continued support for the UO Forensics Department from both the Clark Honors College and the ASUO Department's Finance Committee. 2, calls on the Dean of the Clark Honors College to entrust the Director of UO Forensics Department with the budget and oversight of the UO Forensics Department. Moreover, the Director should also be thoroughly involved in the department and be familiarized with the workings of both debate and mock trial throughout the future of the department. 3, calls on the Clark Honors College and the Dean thereof to retain both debate and mock trial teams under the UO Forensics Department. 4, calls on the ASUO Senate to approve the necessary appropriations to hire and fund the remainder of the mock trial position. 5, calls on the ASUO Senate to rescind the memo submitted by the department's Finance Committee on January 22nd and include this resolution in public record. Calls for the creation of a hiring committee composed only of the director of the UO Forensics Department and its members to hire a coach for the mock trial team. 7, understanding that the financial resources for this coaching position will be fully funded by the ASUO, we assert that the hiring committee shall operate independently without broader administrative oversight, ensuring that the decision-making authority remains solely with the UO Forensics Department. Respectfully, Julie Lopez.
Motion made by Pinheiro, seconded by. Is there any discussion? Back.
So we're giving away like jurisdiction of the UO Forensic Department's hiring process, or is there, we're just calling on that? to do that.
We're asking that since we, Senate, will give them the money, hopefully when they come and ask for it, that the Clark Honors College not say, hey, that's our thing to hire. They're not buying into it, and this money is going to directly to support forensics, and we believe that they know their program better than anybody else. They should be responsible entirely for hiring.
Okay, gotcha. But then okay, that makes sense.
Any other discussion?
Aye. Muhammad.
Aye.
Bone. Aye. Connor.
Aye.
Actor. Manero.
Aye.
Moreno. Fisher.
Aye.
Withers.
Aye.
Ramirez Pinella.
Aye.
Nagaraj.
Aye.
Wu. Esbeck.
Aye.
Agdalena. Scro.
Aye.
Dillon.
Aye.
Lulu.
Aye. Aye.
Ducharme.
Aye.
Jenkins Cisco. Oh, sorry. Cole.
Aye.
Jenkins Cisco. Garrett.
Aye.
I say aye as well.
I'll now ask the chair of the rules committee to convene the committee at its earliest convenience to be able to take it.
After this.
Okay, great. I move to reinstate Senate Rule 10.5.
Second, Dylan.
Motion made by Lopez Dubois, second, Dylan, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Other, great, the rules are stated in this order. Okay, great, thank you, everybody. Vice President Apaka, are you prepared to give your update?
Yes, I am. Okay, hi everyone. My updates are very, very brief today. So the Healthy Parties event yesterday was a huge success. Our Secretary of Health collaborated with SVPE and SAPE, Sexual Violence Prevention and Education team, along with the Sexual Assault Prevention and Education team. And we had over 80 people in attendance and the room was packed. So yay for that. Also upcoming is the Student Allergy Forum on February 4th from 5 to 6 p.m. in the OIHE room. So if you know anyone who may be interested in attending, then please let me know. And that is pretty much all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Withers?
What is the Student Allergy Forum?
Vice President Parker.
Madam Vice President, can you still hear us?
Yes, hi, sorry.
Yes. Hi, I had a question. What is the Student Allergy Forum?
The Student Allergy Forum is pretty much going to be a space for students who have like different food allergies to discuss like dining and catering throughout campus, and also just kind of resources for that. It's only supposed to be kind of like a small think tank, so I think that Marina and the Basic Needs Department can speak more to it if you have any other detailed questions, but that's kind of the general overview of it.
Thank you, I yield.
Anyone else? Okay. Next, moving right along, Finance Committee reports. Speaker here.
Huge news, PSC finally finished our budget process. I'm so excited to have my Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays back now, I cannot tell you. I sent out the PSC benchmark kind of finalized thing the other day, and that should now be reflected in the IP tracker to some extent if you want to do some homework before Budget Bonanza on Saturday. Second is that Senator Peters, Lopez, Mohammed, and I co-authored the following statement regarding the stipend allocation to the African Student Association's fiscal year 26 budget request in response to comments about the organization's fiscal responsibility. Through the entirety of this budget process, the PFC has experienced difficulty contacting the African Student Association, henceforth referred to as ASA, regarding their fiscal year 26 budget request. At the beginning of the budget season, ASA submitted their first budget request draft prior to the original budget submission deadline that was identified by both SOS and PFC. SOS then returned this request for revision on October 28th. Since that date, it has not been revised or returned by the African Student Association. Multiple members of PFC have attempted to contact ASA, however, we did not hear back until last Wednesday and have been in communication with them throughout today.
As a senator, the PFC chair, deputy speaker, and a ASUO co-director, my commitment to uplifting cultural student organizations remains unchallenged and stronger than ever. I am here to serve and advocate for the people that elected me, not to blindly uphold policies or budgets that deprive our student organizations of their humanity. In 2021, for those of you who don't know, ASUO's budget was slashed due to miscommunication and inadequate resources provided by the PFC of that year. Within the community, we were left wondering how we would not only support Native students, but how we would survive as a student organization. It would have taken us 13 years to recover financially. At this time, Senator Peters and I were freshmen when we learned of this. There was nothing but anger within us. We had come to this university under the assumption that we would be supported, but this NASU was one of the best in the country. To be absolutely gutted by PFC and then expected to raise the rest of these funds was a slap in the face, especially considering the financial, educational, and social disparities Indigenous students already face within our educational systems. The notion that NASU was incapable of stewarding funds follows us to this day. It really impacted our budget in the 22-23 season. Finally, this last year, it did not impact our budget, yet it is still an overbearing figure on us co-directors. There is not a day that it does not inform the way that we interact with ASUO or informs our perceptions of ASUO. And until recently, until the Protect the Power resolution, it drastically impacted the way that ASUO perceived us. In regard to that, to infer that an organization's lack of communication is automatically correlated to fiscal irresponsibility is incredibly harmful and only perpetuates the hostility and inaccessibility of ASUO. To be frank with the Senate, the comments regarding ASA's ability as a student organization made on behalf of the department's finance committee last night during their scheduled meeting was incredibly reminiscent of the paternalistic behaviors this institution is renowned for. It reminded me of why I fostered such hate toward ASUO as an ASU co-director. To have our funding practices as they relate to student organizations rely solely on arbitrary terms of fiscal responsibility is degrading. It deprives student leaders of the true impact that they have on their communities. The reason that I and several of my colleagues ran for these positions was to change these narratives of what our student orgs and most importantly, make the budget process work for them. Through trial and error this year, we have learned that this sometimes means throwing traditional policies and practices out of the window and instead understanding and meeting our organizations where they are at, not what we want them to be at. I do not bring this to Senate for a resolution to this issue now, rather I present it because I thoroughly believe that this is an allocation decision that is larger than the chairs. I urge every single person to think about this vote thoroughly with the understanding that ASA is one of the 2 student organizations specifically for African students on this campus. PMC's ask is to allow ASA to keep their tier and stipends, tier 4 $12,870. Stipends cannot be withdrawn from the surplus fund. Additionally, it would take a unanimous vote of the PFC to fully defund ASA, something that I am not confident will occur. Contrarily, if there is not enough remaining funds to cover the stipend line for ASA in the event that Senate does not approve it, this money will instead go towards the American Marketing Association. Considering the conversations regarding fiscal responsibility surrounding portions of all committees, we believe that it is more than appropriate to bring this matter to Senate tonight. For full clarity, there was an accounting error made the other day regarding the PFC budget, not by myself. And it was found that the PFC was under the assumption that when we would go to Budget Bonanza on Saturday, that we would have enough money to cover the 3 remaining organizations that we are highly concerned about, especially in regard to their longevity and their impact on the student body. That is no longer the case. Depending on the decision that is made regarding DFC's budget, then that either means that ASA will be completely defunded, or they might just have their stipends and will be taken to surplus next year. Just to reiterate and for the clarification of all parties, Senator Mohammed, Lopez Peters, and Designee Bagley have attempted to contact or made contact with ASA on the following dates. Friday, October 11th, 2024 via email, and they made contact with Mr. Lopez during office hours. Sunday, October 13th, 2024 via email by Senator Mohammed. Monday, October 14th, 2024 via email and a Zoom meeting with Senator Mohammed. Wednesday, January 15th, 2025 via email with Senator Mohammed.
January 17th, 2025 via email with Senator Mohammed. Wednesday, January 29th, 2025 via email and Instagram with Senator Mohammed. Twitters, Disney Bagley, and Chair Garrity. ASA contacted Senator Mohammed on Wednesday, January 22nd, requesting a budget hearing without having submitted their final budget, meaning that PFC could not hear it at all. On Friday, January 24th, a follow-up email was sent. Additionally, leadership has been reported as attending fall PCM and have made several social media posts undeniably indicating that there is current organizational activity. They have been in communication with PFC yesterday, as I already stated. ASA is currently a Tier 4 organization with a standing budget of $36,970. Not only is this one of the largest budgets allocated by PFC, but their standing as a Tier 4 organization implicitly denotes their longevity and impact as a student organization. In regard to their stipend allocation, they have received stipends for at least 10 years. According to the ASUO fiscal year 25 budget book, if Senate were to deprive ASA of their Tier 4 status as a student organization, it would mean the following in reference to PFC bylaws. Budget hearings in process 6D. A unanimous vote of the program's finance committee is required to remove a stipend which has been funded for 6 or more consecutive years. Completely gutting and defunding the African Student Association will unequivocally deprive them of their ability to adequately serve their student organization's population, leading to a support deficit for African students that cannot be replaced. They are one of 2 ASUO recognized student organizations specifically targeted towards serving African students, the other being Ghanaian Students Association. ASA has been fiscally active this year, spending 15.40% of their original budget, which is appropriate for the categorization of their line items and the point at which we are at in the school year. They have also been appropriately withdrawing from their stipend line item. In total, they have spent $1,693.94, $1,693.94 of their $36,970 budget as of today. The reason behind PFC's advocacy for ASA lies in the following portion of fiscal year 26 PFC fiscal priorities. 3, to amend relationships with student organizations and their leaders to be equally as committed to maintaining these relationships. By being proactive and assisting the regrowth of organizations negatively impacted by COVID and subsequent institutional shutdowns, appropriately supporting student organizations aimed to promote, encourage, and foster cultural identities, values, beliefs, and traditions. Speak through methods of relationality, financially or structurally. Senator Lopez and Senator Mohammed, if you guys have anything to say,
Numbers. This has been brought up to us yesterday actually I just found out about it like yesterday about what the whole situation, but I think actually not appropriate. But if club lines up with their goals, they're everything that PWC stands for, and they deserve the funding, and it would make no sense to backtrack on it now.
Yeah, I would say that gutting their budget also prevents them the opportunity to actually learn from this and to become fiscally responsible. Student org exec positions offer the professional leadership opportunities that are extremely difficult to come across on this campus. PFC learns firsthand that sometimes exec boards inherit a less than desired state when they assume their roles at the start of the year. As a PFC with a background in student board leadership, particularly cultural club leadership, we understand that not everyone has a background and financial knowledge to set effective budgets or to manage and work in a team that supports tens to hundreds to thousands of students and community members. Fiscal responsibility and the knowledge of how to act in that manner is not easy to come by. It's not easy to learn quickly. As PFC, we understand that firsthand. We apply that understanding when approving or adjusting their budgets. We work directly with exec board leaders, and we were exec board leaders, so please listen to us when we ask to apply understanding and compassion for ASUO's budget.
Just to reiterate, we are not asking for more than $12,870 to be remaining in the fund. We just want to make sure that ASA's stipend budget is covered, because at the end of the day, that is what matters most. I yield.
Sure.
Alrighty, COC update, submitted the budget officially, that's all cool. The Uber voucher for winter term is probably gonna be coming out in the next couple days. We're reducing the hours from 10 to 7 in the morning to 12 to 7 in the morning because Duck Rides operates from from 10 to 12, so we don't want to overlap, and it'll save us some money. And then with that money that we save, we can start up the healthcare rides, which we've been wanting to start up for a while, but there's been multiple logistical things that have been hampering us with this. So hopefully all goes well, knock on wood, we can start that up finally. And then see you all Saturday. Thank you.
Chair Richardson.
Can you do this?
Yes, I'd be happy to present the DFC updates. As we talked about earlier briefly, I know we have submitted a budget to Senate on time last week. That due to some new information that's come out is no longer accurate. In fact, it is drastically off, if I do say so myself. The figure that is in the IFE tracker right now, $136,981 of increases, is not accurate. The new number that DFC believes is beneficial for our departments is $349,846, reflecting an 8% increase. This decision was not made lightly. I mean, we went over the forensics, that is the majority of it, 174,000. We fully support those students. They're extremely passionate, extremely hardworking, and we want to see them all succeed. The majority of the other increases that we made in kind of this final hour here were not made lightly. These are all departments that we have identified as having a good amount of student labor, and they were unprepared for the changes that will be happening when the collective bargaining agreement is reached. We really hate to see our departments have to lay off student workers, to roll back services, to have these negative outcomes as a part of this collective bargaining agreement. It's been kind of one of our priorities since the beginning to ensure that this has, that our departments are supported for this situation, that our student workers can still be paid, that our student jobs are safe, and that everything that comes with that is still going on at this university. With that said, we have the SCRC. There's a $4,200 increase there. Basic needs is $5,000 for student pay there. AUC at $2,000, and the Multicultural Center of $2,000, and then duck rides for $5,000. We believe these numbers are probably an underestimate of what is going to be needed, but given the financial constraints we're at right now, and given our already large increases for a variety of reasons, this is necessary and needed. There is an additional $15,000 to basic needs. We had a kind of a last minute meeting with them as a status update. And it came to our attention that their food and housing initiatives were both expected to kind of run out at the end of the year. It's also my personal understanding and many other people on the committee and across Senate that the effects of this new administration are going to hit basic needs very hard. And so I think that program needs all the support they can get. In addition to that, LGBT ESS, the Education Support Service, is they kind of took a hard cut at the beginning of this year during budget hearings. We were expecting a lot of changes, and they did materialize. But to be completely honest, they have such a great program. They have a lot of student workers, and they do so much for that community. We wanted to support them with another $5,000 because their cut was not completely fair in the context of this budget size cycle. I'll take any questions.
Any questions? Vice? There was no University Senate. Thank you, Kyle. There was no University Senate this week. Stay tuned. I think we have it next week. Be sure to report back. Academic chair next week.
Hi everyone. Pretty chill update from academic committee. No numbers involved. We met on Monday. We drew pictures of each other. We had a wonderful presentation from Senator Moreno about outreach, about strategies to promote our academic fair that we're working on that will hopefully be at the start of next term, which is one of our 3 projects. We're working on that. General student outreach and the Portland project, as well as senators working on their own academic projects, which is really cool. We've been getting success with those. Emily has a meeting or Senator Cole has a meeting with the Secretary of Transportation and the Director of Transportation at UO to work on getting law school parking permits, because right now they are on our system and not their system, so there's weird gaps, they have to pay more. So really cool things that we're working on. If you have any questions or comments, please come talk to me, but yeah.
Just please make sure that your office hours span over at least 2 days. Sorry.
No, that's.
That's it, thank you.
Sorry, and I said before that I call on Senator Pinheiro.
I just wanted to reiterate a point that Kyle hit on, is that like the whole reason I was on this committee is because departments have student workers, and I am at the bargaining table writing these proposals for our wages, our protections, all that stuff. And we have a significant amount of student workers in our multiple departments that we fund. And unfortunately, due to the university being who they are, we aren't even close to understanding where we are going to end up on wages, which is why we're going on strike. So I wish we were closer so that we could have like more concrete ideas of where our wages are going to be. But we're not just giving out wage increases willy-nilly. Like, this is so departments can sustain the student workers they have. And respectfully, right now, student workers cannot afford to eat. They can't afford to pay their rent. Like, these are not just fun wages to like say, oh my God, I'm making $20. Like, no, people cannot eat. They can't pay their rent, and that's what this money is going towards. So I just really want to nail that in, because it's not taken lightly by anybody. This is people's livelihoods, quite frankly, and we have a significant amount out of the 4,000 student workers that we serve in our departments. So I just want every senator to keep thinking about that. I yield.
The chair would use. Yeah, I kind of just to that, I wanted to give you all a quick number. Out of this current year's DOC budget of $4.3 million, our student workers' pay is 1.2, or 27%. To kind of give you an amount of like the scale that it represents our department. These are really important things and things we want to support, and it's not negligible.
Chair.
So just a clarifying question, from what the numbers we're running really close to that 5% increase. I would like to let everyone know that we can go to 7%. We have to ask the Board of Trustees. That is, unless there's a different rule, unless it's something different, but we do it, that there is a possibility. We just have to go to the Board of Trustees, which is a not guaranteed thing, but it seems like there might be a good argument for going there. Thank you.
Treasurer Martin, yeah. Okay, my update. I'm going to start with, I will ask that we table the approval of the minutes due to the resolution we just passed. It has to take out our last meeting, so I want to work with the clerks so we can approve both sets next week in our next meeting. So I just asked when that comes up. Secondly, I appreciate you reading a statement on behalf of your committee. I also want to know that quote, that fiscal responsibility, that was something I said last night on the phone call. I'm not doing that. Because every single week when we have orgs come through, or when I'm talking to my tags or any of the finance senators, that's something that I got to keep in mind up front. I mean, we got to treat all of them, not treat them all the same, but sort of have some objective values, and that's something that I just keep in the back of my mind. But I don't want my committee to get up with that, so I just want to know that. Secondly, I wanted to let you all know about a resolution I'm going to drop in the chat right now. Last year, Senate President Rutan signed this resolution. And I think Senator Peters brought it to my attention last week that if you look at 3F, start with stand for a second so I can actually. If you look at section 3 of the resolution, it says something to the effect of any conferences that we approve should not have seniors on it or something like that. Sorry, can read it verbatim. To ensure the retreat contributes to the strength of the ASUO and student organization, at least 3/4 of the retreat attendees must not be graduating in the subsequent term of the retreat. This resolution is in effect until it's not. So I just wanted to bring that up because it's not something we've been enforcing. But that is something that's sort of our policy, and sort of something like the deputy speaker was saying. There are policies that are in place that maybe shouldn't be. And so if that's something that y'all want to take on, but we gotta either take it on or start enforcing it. So I just wanted to bring that up, but that's currently the policy that I should be following now. Okay, and my last thing, I hate to end it on a sort of unhappy note, but I am announcing today that I am commissioning a new cultural competency training. And I'll tell you why. It's because I joined last week virtually, and I'm incredibly thankful to the folks at the Holden Center that put it together, that took time out of their day to do that. But the amount of reports I got of blatant disrespect towards the people that were putting it on made me sick. There are people in this organization every single day that are fighting to repair the relationship that ASUO has with the students of this university because students have wronged them in the past. And when y'all are doing stuff like that, it sets us back. There are people that are fighting really hard to make that not happen. And when I'm hearing people that I know are good people blatantly disrespecting the student workers, the people that are trying their very best to educate our campus, it's been brought up several times tonight that we have a new presidential administration that wants to do away with things like DEI. This isn't something to be taken lightly, and I'm not going to stand for this. And I'm not going to point out and say, you need to redo your cultural competency, or you do. No, because this is a team. There are 35 people in this branch, and anytime somebody's acting out, it's reflective on all of us. And it makes me incredibly sad to hear that was what was happening. So I understand that cultural competency was scheduled weird, it was late notice, and so I want to make sure it works with all your schedules. But there will be another one happening, and I'm expecting everyone to be there. And I'm expecting just respect. I'm literally not asking any more of you than respect to the people that will be doing this training. And so be on the lookout for that. It'll probably be sometime around the end of February, just to make sure you all have enough notice in time. Okay, great. If anyone has questions about that, feel free to Teams me, text me, whatever. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, now I'm just waiting on a motion to table.
I move to table the minutes from January 22nd, 2025.
Second row.
Motion made by Dylan, second row. Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Yep.
So by rescinding the memo from last, are you like striking it from the record, or are you going to include it with the disclaimer? I feel like it should still be in the minutes, even if, as you stated, that you no longer believe that it's factually correct.
Yeah, I agree. The thought was including a disclaimer, and of course, you all will get emailed the new set of minutes before we actually vote on them, so you're able to see what it will reflect.
All right, thank you. I yield.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other?
Second row.
Motion made by Liv, seconded Rowe. The Senate will stand adjourned until Saturday at 9 a.m.
Wait, Crater Lake Room, you work then this Saturday? Is it Crater Lake Room?
Yeah, Crater Lake Room.
Banana.
Other banana.
Which one?
Oh. Hey, get your committee together.
Oh, yeah, Senate rules, people. Senate rules, Subu, Priscilla. Yes, we're literally like 2 minutes ago. We need to do all like, Bruce on it. Oh, you're, got it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Now I can't break This for you, I'm sure it's very
Go back in time, but it's like I want to take like Jamie, right here, my dad, all of girlfriend. I know. Guys. Yes, yeah, I'm gonna walk out together.
Yeah.
Well, let me imagine you yeah, I'm sorry, I can look at mine though. Okay.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I saw. The rules committee is meeting. We're already on the vacancies. I know just for nature, it's all worthwhile. I think it's 500. Thank you.
We sent it to Sean, by the way.
Yeah, it's already sent.